All right, everyone. I am currently on my secondary laptop because my firstendary laptop decided to fuck off under the wheels of a bus. So this might be a little bit wonky today. I believe that I have solved the audio and visual issues. I did manage to figure out how to hatch it in, generally speaking. So please, if there are any weird problems, number one, don't blame me. And number two, please aid me in finding a solution. I'm going to have the Alienware professionally serviced. I don't have the ability to do it myself. What's happening is that it randomly shuts itself off. I get, the blue screen at the bottom, NVIDIA can't be installed and all of that shit. So what I'm going to need to do is pull all of the shit off of it that I haven't already backed up, which is most of it. So that won't take long. And then figure out what the problem is. And yeah, it'll be an interesting time. I'm not going to give up my Alienware with Windows 10 under any circumstances. A good soldier never leaves a man behind. We've only got one major news topic of the day, and that's the Epstein files. We are awaiting the possible release of the Epstein files by the Trump administration. Bondi had said a couple of days ago, well, I got the files on my desk, basically. And people are like, well, just release them. You do have to vet that legally before you can release those files. Give a little bit of patience. People tend to get very impatient with politicians, even the ones that they support. They expect everything to be done on day one, quite literally. That's not the way that the legal process actually works, though. That's not the case, actually. Oh, Dave, fuck Dell computers and Alienware are Dell. Well, no, it works really great. I love it. I've played hundreds of hours of games on it seamlessly at high resolution. It works very, very well, and it's several years old. So, I mean, computers, eventually, they might have some problem with them. But I do have to get it serviced. I'm assuming that it's probably a cooling issue. It could have to do with the processor. It doesn't really matter, though, because, I can absorb that cost. It'll be fine. It's just that right now I have to use the Victus, which is also a very good computer. It's just that it runs Windows 11. I'm not a fan of Windows 11. Most of you probably aren't either. I think that a lot of people, as of that switch up, probably switched over to Linux or started using Crapple products. Bill Gates made a mistake. Keep hydrated, my friends. Yeah. Had crashes recently on Windows 11, tracked it down to Windows Defender. Interesting. Yeah, at first I thought it was because much of the OS storage had been taken up. And so I moved a bunch of shit to data, to the regular old drive. And but that didn't work. It's continuing to have problems. I'll try that, though. I guess maybe I shut down Windows Defender or something like that. I'll try to troubleshoot it myself, but if I'm unsuccessful, as I probably will be, then I'll have to take it into the computer repair service. Thankfully, we have a good one here in Rutland. The computer repair experts actually are really good. So we'll see what happens. So yes, we're imminently waiting for the Epstein files to potentially be released literally today. This could literally cripple multiple world economies. What I've expressed before is support for the basic idea. I mean, public disclosure is important. They shouldn't be able to keep it hidden. So I do support releasing the Epstein client list. But I have warned, and I hold to this, there could be some issues once it is released, because there are so many important, rich and famous people on it that will be immediately shafted, even if they didn't screw an underage girl or something like that, or boy in some cases. There are so many people on the list that it could become problematic. We're talking about the collapse of banks, corporations, sports franchises, everything else under the sun. And it looks like it will actually happen, which is good, I mean, on one hand, but potentially bad economically speaking. Trump's basically going scorched earth mode if the Epstein list is actually released. Honestly, I would release it immediately. I would have literally done it on day one. I would have said, give me the fucking files, scan them in, takes 10 minutes, put them online or something like that. But I can understand that would not be a good idea legally speaking. Let's say that you release the Epstein client list and somebody is listed there and they start getting death threats and harassment phone calls and stuff, but they didn't actually do anything wrong. They were just there for the fucking margaritas. And I'm sure that there are some cases of people that would fall into that category. Well, now they can sue you. Oh, that's a little bit of a problem. Fake stream media, expecting a nothing burger. Don't we already know who's on the list? No, we have the flight list. Trump's on the flight list because he took Epstein's plane several times, but he never took it to the island. The flight logs, therefore, are fundamentally useless. We know that there were people rich and powerful associated with Epstein. Trump broke his association with Epstein once he realized he was a fucking pervert. That doesn't mean anything. If I fly on your plane, that doesn't necessarily mean that I screwed a 12-year-old, now does it? If you went to the island, well, that's a little sus. But again, some people went there because it was party zone. It's only the people that actually did something illegal that we need to worry about. Parsing the good from the bad, the people that were just there for the party atmosphere versus the people that were there for the obvious reason, takes time. That's probably why they're still going through the paperwork, and we might get a release today. We're not sure. That's probably the reason for the holdup. The Dashing Rogue. Kudos on Dan Bongino becoming a glow-in-the-dark FBI Tigger. Yeah, no, I don't think that he glows in the dark. Based on him and Kash Patel almost immediately trying to do an audit to find the two agents that were honeypotting the Trump campaign, I don't think that they glow in the dark. I mean, FBI agents tend to, but I don't think that they particularly glow in the dark, no. Jesse Leon, I'm definitely getting a release today. Yeah, you gotta release your bowels, my man. All those chimichangas. Tacos, burritos, chimichangas. Oh, shit. I just dropped a dirty bomb in the airport bathroom. You should announce that to the flight attendant. That's an old joke. You know, you go to an airport and you say, I just left a dirty bomb in the bathroom. Old terrorism-related joke from the Bush-Obama era. By the way, I wanted to give an apology to some of you. The other day, I was absolutely goddamn exhausted after 2 days with virtually no sleep. I fell asleep almost on the quartercast, and he actually booted me from the call temporarily. I took a 5-hour energy and I managed to plow through it. But I wanted to apologize to all of you because that breaches decorum. I'm a workhorse. I tend to be on the energetic side. You may have noticed this, by the way. There's a reason for that. Well, multiple reasons. But some people thought I was nodding, like I was on heroin or something. I assure you, I have never, ever used opioids. I took a Percocet once when I got my wisdom teeth out, vomited, and then dumped them down the toilet. I am not nodding. Do not worry. I'm not the next Artie Lang. I was just fucking exhausted. What do fuck? I watched the film Brazil in the theater back in the day. I was surprised some people walked out during it. I loved the movie. There were some periods in the movie where it was a little bit on the boring side, but generally speaking, I'd give it an 8 out of 10. Copium Poppies, Elon's fucking with us again. Right before our website launches, we get shadow banned for no reason. They cite platform manipulation. You can't say what we allegedly did. This happened to me on Twitch. They banned me on Twitch. I had 5,000 people fucking following me and was streaming there. All of a sudden I get banned. And I'm like, well, you know, I expected to get banned anyway. But they gave me one bullshit reason. Then I appealed and I asked for why am I banned? And they gave me a completely different reason. And I'm like, okay, fuck this shit. Privateer of the East. Sticks, I think the pot stirring about auditing Fort Knox is related to triggering a cascade of events that destroys the central banking cartels. Thoughts? Entirely possible. Yeah, but I think that he and Elon actually are going to audit Fort Knox. And they'll be able to walk around and see billions of dollars in gold. I do think that the gold is there. It would be funny if you found out that there was more gold than they're reporting. That's entirely possible, by the way. Wouldn't that be funny? Oh, well, it turns out we've got double the gold reserves. Huh. Well, ain't that odd? Where did it get there? Pilgrim Media, put that coffee in your bowels to clean your liver. I drink jam and bean on a regular basis. King of Biltong, by the way, over there. We will celebrate you with some Bovrite. Yeah. King of Biltong, one of the all-time favorite clankers. Sometime I'm going to have like a pot of hot water and just dump a spoonful of this in there and just swill broth on the stream. That would make an excellent broth for like a stew or something like that. Anton is one of my favorites. Anton is currently making biltong. Why am I not surprised? Neck Romancer. Clank. How do you feel about tinned fish, sardines, smoked oysters, kippers, etc.? I recently discovered how good smoked oysters are. New favorite snack. I've had oysters 3 times in my life. Every single time I've gotten sick from them. So I'm never eating them again. I do like sardines, though. I like them in olive oil, mainly. What do fuck? I hope they assay about 15% or so of those gold bars and weigh the rest. Hard to fake by weight, but possible. Yeah, that would probably be a good idea. Oh, shit. We bought gold from China. It turns out that $10 billion worth of this gold is mainly not gold. Ah, well, that sucks now, doesn't it? Lavavex, I used to think your YouTube name was Sexenhammer. Damn dyslexia. Well, I mean, I do have a reputation in certain circles. GW's Garage. The public will never be given the Epstein list. Prove me wrong, I'll wait. Well, supposedly we might get it today. If we don't, they probably punt it down the road and we don't get it. Sexenhammer. I could use some sex right now. Just saying. I can be a little bit of a horny man. I'm a little bit horny on Maine sometimes. It's fun. You know, whatever. Oh, by the way. Oh, shit. What the hell just happened? Oh, I'm still here, so. Nick C. Hey, Nick. Do you think Hollywood celebs are sweating like whores in church right now? It's hilarious to see leftists claiming it's all a nothing burger. Yeah, they're trying to get out ahead of it, exactly. Because a lot of Hollywood celebrities have been to Epstein Island. Now, that doesn't mean that everyone that went there is a pervert. You could have gone there just for the free drinks and to party and stuff like that. And some of these people, they wanted free sex, but it's adults. Okay, well, you're adults. That's a little bit different. Some of these people went there specifically to be with at least dubiously legal individuals. There were children on the island. They were there for a reason, both young girls and young boys. And so we need to see the client list. You have to parse through it and see who slept with the 12-year-old and who was sleeping with the 19-year-old. There's a difference between the two. what was consensual, what was non-consensual. And that's why I think there was a holdup. I think the holdup is about them trying to go through discovery and figure out who did what. Because if you go to Epstein Island, but you're only there for the margaritas, and you end up hooking up with a 20-year-old, some college student or something, okay, it's consensual. You're both adults. It's different. Somebody might have gone there with the explicit intent, though, of fucking a 13-year-old or something like that. Well, that's not acceptable. They still had the margaritas, but they were there for a different reason, generally speaking. So under the law, you have to sort of parse these two things apart. If you don't, then you run afoul of defamation laws, again, harassment, etc. You can cause somebody to get targeted who doesn't deserve to be targeted. Copium Poppies. Anyway, since we can't promote our site launch on Twitter, could those watching this tweet out the URL for our site? It would be massively helpful. Copiumpoppies.com. I'll tweet it out right now, my friend. I got your back, Buster. There we go. I tweeted out the Copium Poppies. Yeah, your music's pretty great. Random 3263827. Movie recommendation. Postman from 1997, starring Kevin Costner. Also has a nice Tom Petty camo. Enjoy. I think I might have seen that, actually. Durazno Kid. Sticks. I'm also having to go to court. How to tell if I have a good lawyer? Is he or she firing off motions? Are they communicative? Etc. If they're filing, I mean, I don't know what you're alleged to have done, and so I won't say anything about that. But generally, a good lawyer will be communicative with you. They typically cost a lot of money. Depends. But even a small town lawyer that doesn't cost very much can be very skilled, to tell the truth. My lawyer locally looks like Burl Ives, by the way. He's a great dude. He's hysterical. He hates it when I compare him to Burl Ives, by the way. This is an inside clanker joke. And then I have a lawyer in New Orleans as well, actually. Some of them have a bit of an overdeveloped sense of humor, I've noticed. I don't know. So yeah, to the Copium Poppies, I have shared it out on Twitter. Mystery 1. Please enjoy art in oil from an artist in Kyoto. How many instances of contraposition do you see? Magnify the details in rumu.space. I've got so many wall hangs. And most of them display contraposition. I've become obsessed with this topic, actually. Of an anaconda, I expect major redactions to the list because of Israel. Possible. Let's get to our sponsors. Anton's already in chat, so, he's already set up. What the hell? Oh, I got to remember that I'm on the other computer. This is going to suck for some number of days or weeks. What the hell? Let me try to figure this out. Oh, there we go. Okay, that's better. I have no idea what I just did. I've got to remember I'm on Windows 11. I'm on the worst operating system that ever existed in the history of humanity, other than Windows 95, maybe. XP was perfect. 7 was perfect. 10 was at least tolerable. 8 was, the bastard child, but, it goes that way. Let's get to our sponsors, though, first. We have cultivated-mind.com, where you can get mushroom pills Important. You should take them every morning. I strongly recommend it. They work pretty well, anecdotally. Disclaimer, it's not medical advice. Pumpkinfirecrafts.us, where you can get bookmarks, important for people like me that really love books, keychains, belt chains, engraved spoons, of course, that's the channel meme, glassware, and much more. BiltongUSA.com. Anton's in chat on Rumble right now. Use code STICKS for 10% off. You should buy Biltong. You should buy some Bovrite, by the way. Fucking delicious. You should buy, it's basically like Vegemite, but a better version of it. Yeah, the South Africans, somehow they figured out how to make Vegemite more palatable, and it's delicious, actually. A true 10 out of 10. You can use that for bullion easily. Also got Sticks, X, and Hammer mugs and so forth available. Wicked Needle Embroidery.bigcartel.com. You can get Sticks, X, and Hammer hats. While we don't have tricorns yet, we do have baseball caps. Several colors and varieties are available. HeritageHeirloomSeedCompany.com. You can get a seed survival bucket. I had some squash over here before, but they rotted and turned to cardboard. But good seeds. And we've also got Sticks, X, and Hammer soaps available. There's the cedar clove and blueberry mix. And then there's the lavender marjoram. They're both good. So yeah, I would get both of them if I was you. Websterswares.com/sticks-wares, where you can get Sticks, X, and Hammer branded blades, which are extremely sharp, as I learned on a live stream months ago, along with metal straws, which are probably my favorite. You know, maybe you're drinking your matcha, your yerba mate, or whatever it is. Maybe you're a hipster, your tea, whatever it happens to be, you'll need a straw. You'll never need disposable straws again, which is really, really great. All you'll need is a pipe cleaner. And finally, jamandbean.com. That is jamnbean.com, the home of Clanker Coffee, as well as various teas, by the way. The Panamanian blend is also really great. I've been drinking a little bit of that sometimes. Mainly I drink the Clanker Coffee because it's, I mean, obviously it's the best. But I also drink the tea on a regular basis. I'm probably going to brew some up tonight, swill off a whole pot. The problem is I can't drink the really great Hunan Jig at night because it's got caffeine in it. So I'll have to do the healer tea. Wasted Bonehead, good morning from the grave. Maybe Rumble will decide to let me super chat today. Yeah, Rumble is working, but there's like a third of the normal audience there at the moment. And there's probably a technical reason for that. I think that they might be doing updates or something. JW's Garage, Desk Panther Food Fund. No one is going to jail, in my opinion. I'm old. I've seen this movie. Spocko, man, I wish I still had Windows XP. You can still get a disk for it. I mean, if you can find a computer that actually has a disk drive. Otherwise, you can hook it up to a USB port and then have an external drive for disks. I don't know. Computing these days is a little bit beyond me. Copium Poppies. Thanks, Sticks. Hell yeah. I'll shout you out elsewhere as well, but I'll do that after the stream. Like Gab and Mines and Getter. Tired with a hard R. Rumble glitchy today. Wouldn't load subscriptions. Yeah, I figured that. Because the audience level is normal on YouTube or close to normal. But on Rumble, it's much, much lower than it should be. And yesterday, it was fucking out for me. It was fucking up for the quartering. Oh, God, Crow Minion. I remember using 5.25 floppies. 8ers were a bit before my time. Yeah, I remember there was a joke about Bill Gates having a 5.5-inch floppy, actually. Wasted Sticks. YouTube recommended me your old videos. You're definitely improved, but the audio was better back then. Maybe switch back to your old microphone. Also bring back the Rome flag. I like the pirate flag. I was sent it by a subscriber. I've decided to resort to piracy to pad out my my income. Now, we're going to talk about something very, very important. The other day, my mother decided to install a kitty door in the door that leads to the garage, so the cats can go in and out and down to the basement and so forth. They are retarded. Only one of them has really figured out how to use it, and that's Micah. She's the only one among them that's reasonably intelligent. Athena and Quincy and Gizmo have not so far figured out how to use a fucking kitty door. They are dumb. I hate to say it, but my cats, 3/4 of them are dumb. This is hard-hitting news, by the way. I'm sure that you're all very fascinated by it. I'm sure that some of you who are pet owners have had a similar experience. You'll have one pet that like sort of gets it, and you know they understand the world around them, but then you'll get one that's like derped out and they don't understand the world around them, and that's exactly what's happening. Quincy will eventually learn it because he loves to pursue his siblings and attack them, which is why he has to wear a bell around his collar, actually, because he keeps ambushing them. The others, Athena and Gizmo, I'm not so sure they'll be able to goddamn figure it out. Normally, when I go out on the garage, for whatever reason, I'm going out for a hike, I'm going out to simply sit there, whatever, I enjoy the weather. Normally, a cat will buzz through the door, and then another one will buzz in or out when I open the door to go back in. It happens probably 20 times a day. They simply refuse to use the cat door. So either they are mentally retarded and don't understand how to use the cat door, or they're simply saying, hey, the human will let me in. The human will let me out. This big retarded ape will hold the door for me. I feel like a chauffeur at times, honestly. I think that Gizmo is the least intelligent of the four. I feel like Micah is the most intelligent of the four. Like, for instance, in the morning, she'll always go up to my dad, and she'll meow, meow, meow. And he knows, he's been well trained. He knows what she wants. She wants him to turn on the sink faucet slightly so that she can drink water out of the faucet. She's gotten into a habit of doing that. She does this literally every single day. She's the intelligent cat of the litter. The others, not so much. Quincy's not dumb. It's just that he acts dumb, basically. Yeah, I'm the cat. One law. I'm the cat butler. Exactly. You don't own a... There's nobody in the world that owns a cat. The cats own them. Zuni, my dad the other day randomly texted me while I was at work that he thinks his cat is retarded. He gave no other context. I think at least 2 of ours are mentally retarded. Wasted. 3/4 of humanity doesn't quite get it either. Yeah, you're not wrong. Drennan, ferrets are retarded. No, ferrets are extremely cool. There was one time when I was down in southern Texas that there was a pile of ferrets in a little enclosure in basically a pet store. And I went up to them. I start doing that sort of thing. And they all started staring at me and trying to climb up my arms and stuff like that. Like they had accepted me into their tribe immediately. I don't know why, but I get along with cats and ferrets more than anything, and ravens more than anything else. Those are, I guess, my spirit animals. And owls, I suppose. Gene Huckman is dead, 95 years old, probably suicide. Yeah, I saw that. I think his wife and child also died. Or his wife and his dog also. It might have been a gas leak or something like that. Maybe they asphyxiated. Seth and Wolf. Laptop sounds like GPU heat issue. NVIDIA is a graphics company. Yeah, it could be. Yeah, I have Mr. Rude Boy. Why can't Styx pronounce Bongino correctly? Is it Bongino? Bongino? I have no clue. I've heard it pronounced both ways. I don't know exactly how to pronounce his name. You got to realize I come from the eastern side of Vermont in the Connecticut River Valley. We're not the greatest at pronouncing things. Bongino. Yeah, but if I say Bongino, then people say it's Bongino or Bonghino or something like that. Bonchino. Never mind. It doesn't matter. Deprived Dolphin. Sticks. Dan Crenshaw threatened to kill Tucker Carlson. What do you think should happen to the congressman? Points microphone at you. I think that he should be censored by Congress. I think that he should officially be censored. Scott Steiner. Mike Lee introduced legislation to bring back the privateering marquee. The jolly crew I suggested could actually engage in privateering off the U.S. coast. You can keep 10% of the booty and it's tax-free. Guess what we're doing, clankers? If that actually passes, do you think that I'm not going to become a literal pirate? I have to dress a little bit differently with body armor and stuff like that, but yeah, that sounds fun. We'll get a fund together to get a trawler or something like that and armor it, and then we'll go and spray down the goddamn cartel members. We'll just blast them, and then we'll sever their heads and bring them in. We'll make a lot of money, by the way, too. Wasted Bonehead. My cat and dog both share the same brain cell. Yeah, these days, most pirates use speedboats and operate in the Persian Gulf or off the coast of Somalia or something like that, in that general region. But privateering, man, that sounds goddamn fun. And trust me, I'll make my potato leek soup and stuff like that, comfort foods, for all of those aboard. I'll be serving as captain, but I'll also be serving as a ship's cook, don't you know? I'll have to cut off one of my legs and get a peg, Our mateys. No, we could literally do this. I mean, if a letter of marque is issued to a group of people and they requisition a vessel and they go after bounty, we would become bounty hunters at that point. It's not really privateering. It's more bounty hunting. Much of it would take place on land. But if you had a decent vessel, something that was, not going to get sunk, and you had a shipment of drones, and you could put incendiaries on them, you could bomb the shit out of these people, and it would be all good. That would be fun. That's what I'm talking about. I'm wondering how many of the people watching right now would actually be willing to do that. Probably need a crew of about 15 or thereabouts, something like that. Man, that would be fun. And then you end up dying in combat, but you don't even give a shit because you died as a pirate. Hey, I died a cool death. At least I wasn't boring. I guess Sigil's aboard. YouTube is AIDS is aboard. Copium poppies, sticks, you should get a snake. I had a ball python for a while, and I have to say they make for a great lazy man's pet. They only need to eat every 2 weeks, only shit every 2 weeks, and they'd be like to be left alone. That would be fun. I like reptiles. They've got an excellent reptile exhibit, by the way, at the Audubon Zoo in New Orleans. Oh man, if you go down there, get a chance to go there. They got orangutans, they've got a reptile zoo, they've got an aviary. And in the aviary, by the way, the birds are all literally out in the open for the most part. You're just not supposed to, touch them. Wasted sticks, don't cut off your leg. You should go out and gouge an eye out so you can wear an eye patch. Yeah, I don't want to be like Dan Crenshaw. That look was cool before Dan Crenshaw became a thing and sold out. Drennan, what would you name your ship? Well, the SS Styx, obviously. Yeah, we can put armor plating on it and improve its engine, probably. I don't think you'd want a regular trawler for fighting cartels. But the basic thing would be you have like a landing pad in back, and you have a bunch of drones on it that you can deploy in favorable weather, of course. You have to take that into consideration. And you have them loaded with incendiary charges, and then you fly them over the cartel members, and then you burn them to death. Sounds pretty good. And what's the worst that can happen? They fire on the drone and destroy it. Okay, you lost a drone. Shit, that really sucks. Oh, we've got 3 or 4 more, asshole. Deprived dolphin. The plank is a giant spoon. The clank plank. Yeah, we could have like a little rampart on the side of the ship. And when we capture cartel members, assuming we haven't burned them to death, then we make them walk the plank and then swim back aboard the ship, just as a joke. That would be funny. Matthew Wayne, we've come to plunder your booty, Captain Sticks. Oh, I would love to be plundering some booty right now. Just saying. Sigil, if we're going pirating, then we need internet. I don't want to be limited to one kind of piracy at a time, and I want the Copyright Office to send a man of war after me. Yeah, we definitely need decent internet on the ship, considering the number of people that are internet connected that would be aboard. Copium poppies. Dan Crenshaw can't take his eye off his eye patch, otherwise all the semen will come gushing out of his eye socket. Has he been sleeping with Lindsey Graham? Maybe. Wasted. If the SS Styx ever sinks, Captain Styx will be sailing on the SS Styx down the river Styx. Yeah, we'll have to get like Starlink aboard the ship, and then we can go and fuck the cartels in the ass. I really hope this becomes a thing. I don't know. Some of you probably do not believe I'm being serious. David Brian Ford, Gizmo. Gremlins was one of my favorite Christmas movies, that and Die Hard. Die Hard is a Christmas movie. I challenge anyone to argue otherwise. Thank you. Durazno Kid, is Styx polyamorous? It's complicated the way that I feel about romance. I'm not really polyamorous, so to speak. If I'm in a relationship, a dedicated relationship, I try to be monogamous. If I'm not in a dedicated relationship, one that's been fully established, then I fuck around a little bit. Maybe not physically, but I tend to be a bit of a flirt. Just saying. Chrominian, 1 gallon of rum per day per man. We'll have to pull a smaller ship behind us to carry it, but so what? Holy shit. Pixie, gestures to current Styx attire. Oh, you're serious? Yeah, I'm not a serious person, but I'm serious about if they start issuing letters of marque, I will do a crowdfund, try to get a ship, armor it, and then we can go to war against cartels. Absolutely. It would be very, very lucrative. I mean, if they're offering like a bounty or something like that, you know, you can get a shit ton of money doing that. Scott Steiner, with a marquee, you're legally entitled to buy military-grade equipment from major manufacturers like H&K, F&H, etc. Real legal question is if you land in blue states like California, etc., if they'll arrest you. Well, then we won't land on them. We'll take the cartel members to South Carolina or something like that. Copium poppies, dude, old-timey style pirate ship is necessary, but with modern conveniences on board. Yeah, you could probably take a modern ship and make it kind of look like an old pirate ship. You wouldn't want the masts and stuff. That would just drag you down. Although I do note there are some ships that still use wind in order to move around. It is possible. King of Biltong, arr, matey, get yourself some salted beef from the long sea journey, packed with B12, iron, zinc, creatine, and more. Perfect for a pirate's diet. Get some at biltongusa.com. Code STIX for 10% off. Trust me, you won't regret it if you get some biltong. One tall order. Hey, Stix, did you ever check out that pharmacy museum in New Orleans that I recommended? I did not get have time to check that out. I will the next time that I'm down there, trust me. Yeah, there's a great looking Creole restaurant literally right next door, so it's awfully convenient. Creole food, Cajun food, hipster food. Literally makes no difference. It doesn't matter where you eat in New Orleans. It's going to be good. Deprived dolphin. Will there be wenches on the ship Styx? I know women are bad luck, but a bunch of pin-up babes would be totes worth. I'm sure there'll be female clankers aboard. Tyson Clark, have you had Canadian food? Yeah, a couple of times. There's nothing wrong with it. It's similar to the food you get in Vermont. Vermont has a lot of Quebecois influence, so it's kind of similar. I will say, our maple syrup is better, though. Sorry, Canadian clankers. Copium Poppies. Thanks to Anton for sharing our website as well. Sigil. The pirate ship will have Muppets Treasure Island sing-alongs. This is not negotiable. I prefer the Treasure Island with Charlton Heston and Christian Bale. They also had Christopher Lee as Blind Pew, by the way. That's the best one. It's just like the best Christmas Carol with George C. Scott. People have wacky-ass opinions with regards to those two movies. It's like, this is the best Treasure Island. No, that's the best one. I'll choose Christian Bale and Charlton Heston for that one, with Christopher Lee again. And for Christmas Carol, I'll choose George C. Scott. Apparently, he was an asshole to people around him. He was a perfectionist, and he hated Stanley Kubrick because when he was in Dr. Strangelove, he was encouraged to act out, and Kubrick is like, no, this is just a take. You know, you basically just burning off energy. But then he used it in the movie and completely bamboozled him. And George C. Scott never forgave Kubrick. It seems like Kubrick was a bit of an asshole too, because Stephen King hates him as well for The Shining, actually. Interesting stuff. George C. Scott, one of the greatest actors of all fucking time. Andrew Van Halen, thoughts on the Tate brothers returning to the U.S.? I was not aware of this. Let me look this up. Thank you for the news tip, actually. Oh, yeah. Yeah, apparently, let's see. Yeah, I guess the case couldn't go to trial. It's still open, but they're traveling back to the United States, the Tate brothers. Huh, I didn't know. And apparently Starmer is no fan of this. That doesn't surprise me in the least, by the way. Tate and his brother Tristan have left Romania via private jet headed for Florida. Well, once they're physically back in the United States, Romania can't do jack shit about it. They don't have any legal jurisdiction over the United States or its citizens or anything like that. Nick C. Oh, I wonder if Andrew Tate is going to make good on fighting Brian Krasenstein after Brian spoke all that shit about him and his brother. You could, yeah, that would be great. I'd rather see you fight the Krasensteins. You could just take both of them at the same time. I don't think it would be a difficulty. Nick is my best friend from high school. He's also extremely muscular. Like as in can bench press a small house, probably, levels of muscular. He would lay waste to the Krasensteins, both at the same time. You know, it would basically be the shot, the fall mode or something like that. That would be hysterical. That would be live streamed a lot. Wasted. Do you think we can visit Havana? I want one of them old Cuban cars. They're commies, basically same thing as cartels. You can visit Cuba. It's just you might get remanded into custody depending on your socio-political views. My dad says that back in the day, when he was briefly in Cuba, he was in the Marines, that they used to sneak out at night, actually, and party with the Cubans. And everything was dirt cheap, and they had great drinks and cigars and all of this other stuff. And they would sneak out at night sometimes in order to go into the Cuban nightlife. I don't know if this is true or not. This is just what he said to me. Wasted. Europe can keep the Taint brothers. Nope, they're coming to Florida. They're coming back. They're coming home. Sigil. Muppets has Tim Curry. He wins every time. Yes, Tim Curry is a god, legendary of acting and voice performances. He's up there on the top 10 list. Tim Curry is great, along with like Burl Ives and a few others. By the way, if you want to see the best thing that Tim Curry ever did, look up the Hexus song from Fern Gully. Man, was that great as a kid. It might have been a NIMBY liberal propaganda film, which it technically was, but Hexus in Fern Gully, holy shit, as a kid, that was goddamn terrifying. I didn't know that it was Tim Curry that voiced that character until years later. He's the one that did, like, you know, the much of the music from Rocky Horror and stuff like that. Excellent voice actor. Iconic voice. Hit me one time, hit me twice. Oh, it's rather nice. Yeah, Fern Gully was yeah, oil and grime, toxic sludge. Toxic love. I know the feel. Yeah, that was a great goddamn song. And great animation, too. I mean, it was insane, actually, at the time. Pouring down like egg chow mein. Exactly. Wasted Bonehead. Have to agree with Sigil. Tim Curry is top tier. No roles he's ever taken was bad. Yeah, sadly, I think he had a stroke several years ago. And so he can't really work anymore, which is a real goddamn problem because we need more Tim Curry. He's done, goddamn, he's probably been in 100 roles acting and doing voice acting as well. Yeah, he was Dr. Frankenfurter in Rocky Horror. And, yeah, God, even his dancing is good. He's a very, very talented man. Yeah, Tim Curry is messed up now, but, you know, I wish we could sacrifice a couple other celebrities to improve his condition and allow him to work again, because he really is a gem of the acting world. It's difficult to find somebody who is both a superb actor, a reasonably good singer, a good dancer, a good voice artist, and good at producing things at the same time. Yeah, Tim Curry, he's up there. I would say number one would be on my books. Let's see, just a sec. I'll give you my top three. Yeah. I would say Vincent Price is my number one. Christopher Lee is my number two. And Tim Curry is my number three. I guess Charlie Chaplin would be the runner-up. Wait, let's see. Copium. Tim Curry also briefly voiced Palpatine on Clone Wars after the original voice actor died. Didn't really fit in my opinion, but it's still awesome because Tim Curry. Tim Curry was incapable of doing anything wrong. You know, when he was doing voice acting and stuff like that. When he was Hexus, though, holy goddamn shit, was that terrifying back in the 90s if you were a kid. It was like, oh shit, you know, I need to plant a tree right now. Stoner with a boner, just look in the mirror, Sticks. Yeah, if I look in the mirror, I see an ugly pirate, basically. I keep hearing about Buster Keaton, Sertorius, but I can't name anything that he was in. Yeah, it would be Vincent Price is #1 on my list, easily. Last Man on Earth, among other things. He was in, I mean, he's been in practically everything. He was working up through the 90s, and he was feeble then. He continued to work with Edward Scissorhands, actually. He was the old doctor there in Edward Scissorhands. Just continuously did a good job on basically everything. And he had an iconic voice, too. I remember there was one old movie. It was called The Bat, actually. I think it was from the late 50s, in which Vincent Price, he gets killed in that movie. I don't want to give you spoilers. Sorry. My apologies. Just look up The Bat. It's an old, I think, a 59 movie or something like that. That's got Vincent Price in one of the lead roles. And actually, it's got some, again, I won't give you spoilers. But, and then he was in Edward Scissorhands. Last Man on Earth was his iconic role. This was based on I Am Legend, and it was a superb movie, a true 10 out of 10. It's the ultimate dystopian end of the world movie that you will ever see. It was fantastic. The acting across the entire cast was fantastic. The aesthetics were fantastic. It's basically like Fallout the fucking movie. Watch it. If you haven't watched Last Man on Earth, I believe it's free on YouTube, actually. I think it's out of copyright at this point. You should definitely watch it. It's much better than I Am Legend with Will Smith. We'll put it that way. And then Christopher Lee. You've got his iconic roles as Dracula. He's Blind Pew in The Best Treasure Island. Of course, he's Saruman and in the Lord of the Rings series. And apparently, originally he wanted to be Gandalf, but then he figured he was too old for the role, you know, to do the things that Gandalf was doing. He's like, well, I always wanted to be Gandalf, but I settled for Saruman, which was funny as hell. And then there was that one time, you know, in the director's cut, at least. I mean, when Grima, I believe it is, stabs Saruman in the back, and he makes that little gasp. And then Peter Jackson confronted him about this and said, well, he's supposed to scream or something like that. And he's like, I know what it sounds like when a man gets stabbed in the back. Well, how do you know that? I have got secrets and I keep them. It means probably Christopher Lee, when he was in the Italian theater in World War II, he probably killed somebody that way. And therefore literally knows what it sounds like. Oh, by the way, Christopher Lee's best role as Lord Summerisle, by the way, in that famous pagan movie, the good version of The Wicker Man, one of my favorite movies of all time, which I should probably watch later. I watch that every May Day for a reason. He did a spectacular role. All of the acting was spectacular. And you get lots of titty, bush, and boobies and butt all throughout the movie. So, you know, that's a capper. Yeah, it's basically pornographic at times, actually. Christopher Lee probably had a good time in that movie. By the way, the chick that plays the daughter of the innkeeper actually was briefly married to the Pink Panther. And so they were fucking, obviously. I think there was a reason for that if you look at her body. They were married for a while. They got divorced. Sigil, also in Ferngully. The two slobs driving the forestry machine is Cheech and Chong. Shit, I didn't know that. It doesn't surprise me, though. Wasted. Watch the Count Dankula video on Buster Keaton. He was a silent film stuntman. Huh. Nick C. Didn't Christopher Nolan Tolkien, and that's why he originally wanted to be Gandalf? I believe you are correct, yes. Yeah, but then they waited so long to make like a proper movie adaptation that he was too old to be Gandalf. He was like, he's like, I can't do these stunts and shit like that. I'll just be Saruman. Yeah, Christopher Lee is another gem. It's too bad. A lot of the greatest, I would say that the greatest modern actor, and don't jump down my throat for saying this, is, well, there are two of them, technically three. Johnny Depp would be on the list. Here's the top three: Johnny Depp, Joaquin Phoenix, and then what's his name from the fucking Matrix? I can't remember his goddamn name. Dude from the Matrix. He also was in Dracula, actually. For some reason, his name escapes me at the moment. I'm having a Biden moment. My apologies. Keanu. Keanu is the deadpan guy. So he can be completely emotionless blank. If you want that kind of role, you want Keanu Reeves. Johnny Depp is kind of the slightly morose but generally funny guy. And so, yeah, and then Joaquin Phoenix, he's more, if I had to describe it, he's good for historical roles and stuff. He did a great job in Napoleon. I realized that the movie didn't really follow 100% historically the story of Napoleon, but he did a great job acting, and he was superb in Joker. That's the only time that I've seen a Marvel DC sort of movie that I actually enjoyed it, other than, the old Superman things, but that was when I was a kid. Yeah, I would say Keanu Reeves, Joaquin Phoenix, and Johnny Depp are probably the big three. Yeah, Nick, he did suck. I didn't see Joker 2 because I looked at the plot and I said, fuck this shit. It wasn't his fault. He was handed a shitty script and a bunch of money, and he said, fuck it. So he took the money and he went along with the shitty plot, and he probably shouldn't have done that. He probably shouldn't have even agreed with it. But he may have been obligated to do so. Might have been under contract. It's like, okay, we're signing you up for Joker. Oh, great. Here's $100 million. But you have to do a second one, if we ask you to do so. Oh, okay, that's fine. And then the first one was like a 9 out of 10 movie. It was really good. But then the second, yeah, they turned it into some sort of weird musical and then had him raped in prison and weird shit like that. I have a feeling that the reason that they did that is because the first Joker movie was meant to be kind of a progressive screed, and it didn't really pan out. They wanted it to be a woke movie, but really people got the wrong idea with regards to it. And they're like, oh, we're going to smash the system, but not on the left wing. And so they decided to release a musical, which makes absolutely no goddamn sense whatsoever, in which the Joker gets ritualistically raped. It's almost a ritualistically rape. It's almost like they ritualistically killed the character off more than anything because they didn't like the outcome of the first movie. Very strange. Yeah, Durazno Kid. I'm not going to bother watching it. What's the point? The first movie was great. Again, it was like a 9 out of 10 film. The acting was superb. The plot was superb. The effects were superb. It was great. It was highly emotional, relatively violent, etc., etc. Great movie. But then in the second one, by all accounts from what I've heard, it's a pile of bullshit. So I'm not even going to bother trying to watch it. I'm not going to put myself through the torture, basically. But yeah, Joaquin Phoenix is very, very good at acting. He is very, very good at acting the role. Like when in Napoleon, he looks the part, he sounds the part, he acts the part. He's pretty much a method actor. So I would consider him one of the three greatest living actors. Absolutely. Johnny Depp, he's capable of being funny. He, like in Pirates of the Caribbean, R matey, he's capable of being the bookwormish, slightly morose individual, like in Ninth Gate, which got panned. He's, unfortunately, he's capable of being the zany character, like in Sleepy Hollow. He's very versatile. He's capable of pretty much taking up any role. That's the whole point. I would say he's probably number one, Johnny Depp, with Joaquin Phoenix being number two. And Keanu Reeves, I'd put at number three. His deadpan is definitely the best. When he has to play a role in which he shows no emotion, or a role when he's using guns and stuff. If you've seen his gun training video, you wouldn't want to fuck with the dude, actually. It's pretty cool. Also looks cool. But like in Matrix and stuff like that, when he has to do the deadpan and not show emotion, sometimes it's jarring. Like some people complained about the 92 Dracula, which is the best version of Dracula in the world, by the way. Keanu Reeves, of course, plays a role in this. And there's one point in which he wants to show emotion because he's berating Dracula about like seeing wolves and stuff like that. But it just comes off as a little bit odd. But if you want him in a deadpan role, so he's not supposed to show any emotion, perfect. 10 out of 10 performance. Very interesting people. Drennan, loved the Ninth Gate. Yeah, we're in the minority. Unfortunately, a lot of people did not like it. A lot of people think that it's slow and boring. I think that having an aesthetic horror movie, especially with good sex scenes, by the way, is a good thing. Yeah, now everyone is arguing about who the best actors are. No, those are my big three. It may be basic bitch mode, but it would be those three. As far as those that are still alive, I would say Christopher Lee and Tim Curry would definitely be on the list, though, for those that are... Well, Tim Curry's not dead, but he's no longer doing acting, you know. Not a banned account. Will Trump's Epstein crimes be exposed today? I'm sure that that he's on the list, the flight list, that is. But I'm also sure that he's not on the island tour list. Nicolas Cage. Oh, for the love of God. I hate Nicolas Cage. Stoner with a boner. Dracula hangs dong in the new Nosferatu movie. Oh, God. Sigil. Sticksman. Oh, sorry. Sigil. Look up the Christopher Lee skit from the show Snuffbox. It's about him being cast in a porno, and it's hilarious. Goodness. I'm not a fan of Nicolas Cage, honestly. He overacts. He's like Tarantino and some of these others. Rabbit. The Joker was a retarded loser, Omar, but the movie was more reflective of the maladjusted society that drove him there. Yeah, it was a very psychological movie. That's why I liked it. Normally, when you have like a Marvel DC, like a supervillain, hero movie, it's all special effects and things flying around and people using telekinesis and weird shit like that. But the Joker humanized the character and made it believable. That's why I liked the movie. It wasn't over the top. It's basically about I won't give spoilers. For anyone who hasn't seen it, I won't talk further. But it made it believable. I'm assuming that 90% of you have already seen it, but for the 10% that haven't, just watch The Joker. It really was a good movie. Don't bother watching the second one, though, because based on the clips that I've seen and the testimonials that I've seen, it's really not worth watching. I almost think that they just did it to make a shit ton of money or something like that. Gnostic Alien, Ninth Gate is one of my favorite movies. It is my second favorite after Brotherhood of the Wolf, which was made in the 2000s. Brotherhood of the Wolf, Ninth Gate, then you've got like Jaws, Black Moon by Louis Malle, movies like that. Sometimes I want an artistic movie or something that's slower paced. Sometimes I want something that's like a Fisherman's Tale or something like that. And sometimes I want like Jason 5 and I just want to see people brutally murdered. At this point, this has devolved into a BANTZ stream. We're going to wait and see if the Epstein bullshit is released. But yeah, Starmer is trying to challenge the U.S. That's a real good idea. Go ahead. Real good idea. Let's see. I'm going to watch for rapid fire updates on this one. Trump's DOJ could release Jeffrey Epstein files today. What to know? What to know? There are probably people at goddamn Forbes that are on the list. Sucks to be you. I never went to Epstein Isle. Most of you probably didn't either. I'm assuming clankers aren't generally into that shit. It is weird, though, to think. Some of the people watching this stream right now have raped somebody. Some of them have committed murder. Some of them are child molesters. It does make you pause for a moment sometimes. I have that random revelation. Thankfully, most of you cook well and do your thing and stuff like that. I'm still thinking about having a soup cook-off at some point with fellow clankers. That would be great. Queer Starmer. Yeah, we're going to take the pedophiles and the terrorists and make them walk the plank. But we're going to wrap a chain around their leg and put a cinder block on it before we do that. Kill yourself. Not just a string. I want Starmer to challenge Trump so he can be crushed. Only reason I want a delay to the UK election is so reform can prepare. Yeah. Yeah, there's no way that the UK is going to stand up against the US. The economic situation, the diplomatic capabilities are so wildly disproportionate. It's not going to happen. Mike, Bruce Campbell. Okay, he would be number 4. Bruce Campbell is number 4. You are correct. He was in Xena Warrior Princess. He was in Evil Dead, which got a reboot, and it actually didn't suck, which was great. Raimi did a great job on that one. Yeah. Copium Poppies. I wonder if Elon is on the client list. He likes to censor people quite a bit for someone without skeletons in his closet. It's possible. I don't think it likely, though. I don't think he'd be on the list. Just, yeah, you're Gary Oldman. Yeah, Gary Oldman would be high on the list, too, admittedly. Yeah, Bruce Campbell is really, really great. He's only ever been in, like, B movies and B series, but the reboot of Evil Dead for the series was excellent. That was one thing. The original Evil Dead was excellent. Hell, he even did well in the original beta tape for Within the Woods, which came before Evil Dead. There is a beta tape. You can see it on YouTube. Look up Within the Woods, and Bruce Campbell is in it. It has some of the same cast as what became Evil Dead, the first one, before they rebooted it again, and then they rebooted it again, and then they rebooted it a third time, and the rest is history. It's actually pretty good. It's terrible quality because it's an old Betamax tape that they've stripped and put online. But honestly, it was pretty good. The original plot line was that they started getting possessed because he was digging out Native American remains. And so you have this, I think it's 25, 30 minutes, something like that, video that was screened. And that was what he used to get investment into what became Evil Dead. And I guess they gave him suggestions and said, okay, well, maybe the Native American part you leave out, I suppose. And then you have the Necronomicon and stuff like that. And then they made Evil Dead. I watched that as a kid. That one scene where the possessed woman is down in the basement, she's been locked in, and the other girl goes crazy and she's like, what's gone with her eyes, or something like that. Oh, what's wrong with her eyes? Where are her eyes? And then the demonic, like, ghoulish woman, she sits down and she starts laughing uproariously. Oh man, I thought that was funny as fuck. And then the scene where the chick, like, you know, her head is in the fire and then she gets stabbed and stuff like that, I thought that was funny too. They did pretty good practical effects actually in that movie. And this was a low budget movie, I mean, when you think about it. Yeah, I'll swallow your soul. Yeah, I had a great time. I mean, it was like 15 years old and I was watching I'm watching it on VHS. It was fucking great. The Dirty Straw, unpopular take. The Lion King is overrated as hell. I disagree with you. I like The Lion King. I also like the animated series and the sequel, actually. I think they're all pretty good, actually. There's like some new Lion King movie that has Timon and Pumbaa actually narrating over the original movie and its scenes. And it sort of reminds me of that the Mystery Science Theater or whatever it was called, 3000. I can't remember what it was called. It's basically the same premise. It's Timon and Pumbaa narrating over the original movie scenes along with new movie scenes. Yeah, Lion King, 1.5. I thought it was fun. I watched it a few days ago, actually. I didn't know it existed. They should have advertised it more. Omar Cavazos, beautiful pussy too. Tits and pussy was phenomenal. Yeah, you got to see tits in Evil Dead. You got to see plenty of them in fucking Wicker Man. Just saying, for those that are interested. All those people are dead for the most part. That's the funny thing. When you get on camera and you're young and beautiful and you flash your tits or your ass or something like that, it's funny to think like 50 years later, you might be long dead and somebody will still be beating off to the memory of that simply because it's on film. I guess I should make some porn. Oh, wait. I already have. Anyways, I'll be right back. This is going to be a longer live stream than usual, so don't worry. I'll be right back. I just need to take a quick piss break, so I'll be. All right, sorry about that. I had to pee. Potty all the time. Oh, God. Copium Poppies. They did advertise Lion King 1.5 back in the late 80s of 2000 to 2001. I know it was pre-2002. I thought it was new, actually. Late 90s. Damn fat fingers. I could have sworn that it was released within the last few years. I didn't know it existed. Honestly, it was really, really good. I always liked Timon best of all the characters from Lion King. So I was glad that he was narrating half the time. It's from the mid-2000s, says Based Acid Fox. Huh. Damn. I only just found out about it a few days ago. I didn't know it existed. I would give it an 8 out of 10. Just tell us, hey, everybody, do you love Styx as much as we do in Lincolnton, North Carolina? Some people might. Yeah, everyone's speculating on the death that has recently occurred. I suspect gas leak. Yeah, I think that Dual Helix is right. We'll try to see if there's any breaking news about that, by the way. UK Prime Minister to appeal to Trump on behalf of Ukraine. Yeah, Gene Hackman died, along with his wife and dog. Unless they were individually murdered, which is fairly unlikely, it's probably gas leak or something like that. F. Winter's loading. Trump flew Andrew Tate from Romania back to the U.S. Is this another hostage rescue win for Trump? I am not a particular fan of Andrew Tate's beliefs, but Romania is legendarily corrupt. And so I support bringing him back, yeah. Let them wage their case if they have one. Copium Poppies. Nah, I saw it in middle school and I'm slightly older than you. Damn. I mean, it was a great movie. I hadn't even seen it. I didn't know it existed before. Is there any other Lion King lore that I don't know of? Casey Jones. Styx is like a fictional character from a book, and I mean that as a huge compliment. Thank you very much. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of Andrew Tate. He's misogynistic to the root. And I love women a little bit too much at times, actually. So I'm kind of at the opposite end of the spectrum. He puffs himself up and has a huge ego and says weird shit sometimes. But he should be allowed to speak his mind, and he should get a fair trial instead of being shafted in a foreign country, which, again, has a corrupt justice system, even more corrupt than the United States justice system. Romania has been a hotbed of that sort of activity for a very long time. If the authorities like you, you can murder somebody. No problem. Well, just look the other way. If they don't like you, then all of a sudden you're public enemy number one, especially if you're a public figure, and the Tates are public figures. That's basically the way that it works. I remember I took an anthropology course, actually. It was on the anthropology of Eastern Europe. And the professor had been to Ukraine, actually. And she mentioned this very, very blatantly. She was like, well, if you want to do anything, you're going to have to bribe someone, basically. So maybe you give them some rubles. Maybe you give them a bottle of vodka or whatever. If you have to deal with a public official, you're going to have to bribe them. It's just the way that things work in some parts of the world. I'm very, very happy that Donald Trump, by the way, understands this because it's going to help with U.S. diplomacy. Sigil, maybe Hackman went insane and killed every living thing in his house because he's on the Epstein list. Doubtful. No, I think gas leak or something like that. Or maybe they accidentally got, I mean, if the dog died too, then either there was an intentional killing or something was there that killed them all. Since it doesn't seem like inflicted death is a thing, I would suspect gas leak or carbon monoxide or something like that. Tim Chandler, it's under suspicious investigation now. It's possible they got killed. Yeah, it's possible. But I would suspect, unless they see signs of inflicted death, I would suspect carbon monoxide or a gas leak, something like that. Sertorius, women are like handball. They smack the wall and then return to you. Yeah, no, I like women. Just saying. Females are my weakness. Just saying. Also my strength. My goodness. The things I can do to some people. You wouldn't believe it. It's absolutely hilarious, actually, when you think about it. Yeah. I believe that probably there was a gas leak or carbon monoxide built up. I don't think that it was an inflicted death in this particular case. Sean Smarts, have you tried a dude? No, I am super straight. I have never sucked a dick, rubbed my dick on a dick, or anything like that. I'm only interested in females. Natural born females. Those without a Y chromosome. Devil Dog Cog. Not even the Jailhouse Rock. That sort of thing generally only happens to pedos or rapists. Or if you're gay and you go to jail, yeah, I mean, you can offer your ass if you want to, but Piss Juggernaut, rub your dick on a door handle? I have no clue what you're referring to there. I have not done that, just to be clear. Neurodivergent, no chicks with dicks. Exactly. I don't have any problem with a consenting adult that wants to be like trans or something, but I'm not into that. No, thank you. Tard with a hard R. I fucked a couch once at my grandma's house. Oh, okie dokie then. If you're into couch porn, you do you. That's a good Devil Dog Cog. That's a good point. He says we're going to see a lot of celebrities heading to Greece today. Yeah, if you look at the list of people that's likely to be on the Epstein list, if you see any bizarre travel patterns, they're probably on the list. Oh shit, Kevin Spacey just decided to go to Spain. I wonder why he's on vacation. Celestial, so trans men are still up your alley then? Nope, because they're men. If a chick gets a fake dick, well, I'm not into dick, so I'm not going to be with him. If a dude, slices apart his perineum and inverts his penis or something like that, he's got a Y chromosome, so I'm not into that either. I'm only into natural born females. Oh, Jabberjaw, they say Stephen Hawking is on the list. Well, I don't think he would have been able to get it up anyway. He was paralyzed from the neck down, wasn't he? He wouldn't be able to have sex with anyone. I have a feeling he was invited there just for the star power or something like that. I don't think that he screwed a child or anything like that. I mean, he might have gotten a lap dance, but he wouldn't even feel it, so. When you're like this, and talking through a computer, I don't think that you're fucking anyone. Dual helix. Lots of quadriplegics can still get it up, surprisingly. Huh. That's interesting. I didn't know that. Yeah. I like to believe that Stephen Hawking was not, I mean, he was at Epstein Island. We know that. We've got pictures of it. I like to think that he was not a pervert. I may just be thinking it, but I like to think it. Sigil, natural born females only. No getting freaky with sexy science experiments from a growing vat. Yeah, no, I'm not into that. Unless it's that crazy chick from Splice. Heart of the hard R. We are all perverts. True. We all have fetishes and stuff like that. We have to be adults and admit to this. That being said, there are some things that cross the line, like, you know, fucking a toddler or something. Epstein probably did that. There no kid. Hey, that's a good point. Maybe Hawkins was the one being abused. Yeah, I mean, if you can't move, you can't defend yourself. Maybe somebody came up, lubed up his cock, and sucked it or something like that. How do we know? And I mean, I think he's dead, so we'll probably never know. That one chick from Jason 5, by the way, is one of the gothy chick, the one who was dancing to what the fuck is it? Let me look this up. What the hell was the name? It's by Pseudo Echo, His Eyes. What was the name of that actress? I can't recall. How sad. Yeah, she's like, man, I had a crush on her when I was younger. She's like 60 years old at this point, but you know. The shittiest Friday the 13th, yet similarly the best one. Yeah, I'm going to have to look it up on YouTube and try to find it. Yeah, it was Violet in the movie. What was the name? She was so cute back in the day. This was before I was born, so no worries. I think she was like 20 at the point. Can you please tell me? I think Bridget Helm. I think it was Bridget Helm. No, Bridget Helm was the one from Metropolis. She was hot too, by the way. Now that was Bridget Helm. Why is everyone who's surnamed Helm is hot? I mean, I'm just saying. No, not. What the hell? I'm trying to find it. I'm trying to figure it out. Tiffany Helm. It's Tiffany Helm. I'm doing the best that I can. Google's algorithm these days, it doesn't always work. Sigil, quadriplegic porn star Stephen Hawking. Oh, God. Yeah, Tiffany Helm in Jason 5 and in her other roles. She was definitely very beautiful, but she did a lot of drugs and stuff like that. She didn't necessarily age well. Still not ugly, but, she doesn't look anything like she used to. If winter's loading, a hilarious knock on the Catholic Church would be for Pope Francis caught on the Epstein Island. It's entirely possible. Soapmaker 19, any experience using grass and weed matter from dethatching the lawn for hugelkultur? Never dethatched before. Yeah, if you pile biomass into the rows between the beds or into the beds themselves, as long as there are no seeds in it, which will obviously cause weed growth, it works pretty well. Yeah, it's funny. Both Tiffany Helm and Bridget Helm, two of the most attractive actresses that have ever existed. Oh, yeah, Bridget Helm in Metropolis. She played both the sweet girl and the crazy robotic girl in the same role, and was really, really good at acting, number one, but also really, really pretty. There's one other. Helga Line was sexy as fuck, says Sith. Who's that? Oh, Lene. Helga Lene. She looks nice. We're allowed to perv on Maine. It's sad that most of the sexiest women died long ago. That's rather sad. At this point, this is a BANTZ stream, by the way, in case you couldn't tell. But I don't want to run up against Jeremy in his time slot, so I'll be going off in a couple of minutes probably here. Yeah, yesterday I almost passed out on the stream, actually, due to exhaustion. And 2 nights of travel and then 2 nights of terrible insomnia. I had to suck down a 5-hour energy in order to actually stay awake. He booted me from the call briefly because I almost fell asleep. It was very, very strange. Thankfully, I realized I have more of these. Yes, Chaos X. Prayers for Jeremy's dog. Because Jeremy's dog appears to have some health issue. Hopefully it is resolved. And we wish Doggo well. Linda Carter. Who's that? Yeah, that's not my style. It's like, were you more of a Xena or a Gabrielle fan? I liked Callisto. Oh, God. Oh, fuck. I had a crush on her when I was a kid. F. Winters Lodig, Trump endorsing Brian Donalds for Florida governor instead of Ron DeSantis' wife. DeSantis did a good job as governor, but showed bad judgment running against Trump. Yeah, that can happen. Yeah, Callistra. That was my favorite character. Oh, yeah. Oh, Callisto. I've heard it said both ways. Yeah, Callisto was definitely one of my childhood crushes. Fucking crazy. I tend to date crazy people. Absolutely superb. Yeah, Callisto was batshit crazy. That's the whole point. That's why she was hot. Damn, homie. Oh, hi, matey. Longtime follower, first time responding since 2010. Greets from Groningen. I've been there. Excellent. Yeah, Callisto was definitely my favorite. Any episode she wasn't present in was a sad episode. I liked Gabriella, and I liked Xena. I mean, Lucy Lawless is hot too, but yeah, Callisto is on a totally different goddamn level. Holy shit. Just saying. Oof. People do get-ups of her and stuff like that. I approve of this strongly. Is that a picture of Lucy Lawless grabbing Callisto's tit? I have a feeling those are cosplayers, but they look very similar. Anyway. Yeah. I've decided to be a little bit less serious on my live streams these days. Aubrey Plaza has those eyes. I'm hot for Xena. No, I like Callisto. She was my favorite on the show. It's like, this is supposed to be kind of a sort of villain. Occasionally, not always. But I always thought that particularly chaotic psycho chick was definitely the hottest. Definitely the most fun. And, you know, if I was younger and stuff like that, you know, I would have gone for that. Absolutely. Celestial. Grippy socks, grippy box. Crazy ones have the best kitty. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, absolutely. There is a direct correlation between how psychotic a chick is and how good the fucking is. Absolutely. No, Uncloudy, Callisto does not have a dick. She is a naturally born female. Also, I think you're spelling it improperly. It's Callisto, not Callisto. Basically, I think she was the understudy of Ares, if I remember correctly. And he looked like Dave Gahan. He looked like a cool dude. She was basically his understudy, then turned on him and fought with Xena and Gabriella and Jockster the Mighty, of course. And if you've watched the series, Jockster the Mighty was my favorite character. And then turned on Ares, if I remember correctly. I'll have to go back and watch the whole series again, apparently. Yeah, she sort of gravitated back and forth. Sometimes she was on the good side, and sometimes she was on the evil side. It sort of depended on the situation. She was a switch. I mean, at first, with the first episode before Calypso came in, I liked Gabriella. I thought that she with her staff was, you know, pretty sexy. I was never much into Xena, actually. But then when Calypso came on the set, I was like, shit. Yeah, I'm a teenage boy. What the hell do you expect? The dirty straw. What do you think about North Korea stealing 1.5 billion of crypto? You're gonna have to DM me on Twitter or something. I was not aware of this. Callisto and Gabriella, not either or, both of them, same time. Yeah, imagine that scissoring session. Yep, that would be quite something. That would be a record-breaking TV show. I'm just mouthing off at this point. But I have to go offline so that I can do my news crawl #1. And also, I don't want to run up against Jeremy #2. He's got his own stream in about 15 minutes. So, yeah. Even in southern Idaho, you can shoot huge carp with bow arrows. That sounds like a difficult fishing practice. Anyways, yeah, I'm going to go offline, do my news crawl. Jeremy will do his stream. So you should head on over to the Quartering, actually. In about 15 minutes, he will be live. I am one of his co-hosts, and so you should give him some support. Give him some love and tell him Styx sent you. That's about all. Peace out.